What up, what up, what up? Welcome to the Live Game Season 3, Episode 4. I'm your co-host, Marcus. This is the Average Man's Perspective of Football. Joining me on the panel tonight is Brian. Say what up, Brian.
Sorry for being late.
Herman.
Hello, hello.
And Mark.
Good evening.
Before we get started, I want to encourage everyone to like, share, and subscribe. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, help us get these views up. Also, I want to encourage you to go on over to sportsintel.net and check them out for some great commentary on everything sports related. Once again, that's sportsintel.net. So we just finished week 3 in the NFL. Had some good games between Baltimore and the Chiefs. No, far as I know, no major injuries, no starting quarterbacks going out like in week 2. So Herman, get it started.
All right, like Marcus said, we did have some pretty good games this weekend. So let's roll right into our last week's picks. So the first game of the week last week was the Thursday nighter. You had the Jags at home against the Titans. I'll start this one off. I was shocked. I picked the Titans, and the Jags came out there with that quarterback Hachu.
The mustache.
I'm gonna call him the mustache. That dude, he was slinging the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, I was very impressed. And their receivers, Chark, I think is his name, Chark the Junior or something like that. Man, I was
DJ Chark.
Yeah, DJ Chark. Yeah, I was surprised. I was impressed. So the Titans looked just flat. They didn't do anything. And Mariota, did y'all see that meme? Where they said a woman needs to get a man like Mariota who stares down the target.
Oh yeah, I did see that.
Get a man that looks at you like Mariota stares down his primary receiver.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like that.
I did
Oh,
see
man,
that. I did
hilarious.
see that.
So I picked that one wrong. How about you, Marcus? Who'd you have on this one?
I picked the Titans. I didn't think the Jaguars would go out there and do that. That was it Menu? The mustache guy?
Minshew.
I just called him mustache. I mean, he was looking sharp. He looking like a Pro Bowler out there. I was very surprised to see that. They might actually have a quarterback now.
It's going to be interesting, too, when Foles gets healthy, if this dude is playing
Depending
like
on how well he plays, yeah, Foles might not get this. Foles might be another backup again.
that. Right. Who'd you have, Brian?
I also picked this one wrong. I also picked the Titans. I expected them to be able to run a little better on the Jags, but the Jags defense came with all the question marks with Jalen Ramsey, but he played well in that game. And like y'all said, Minshew surprised everybody. I mean, he was lighting it up in the first half. He kind of calmed down the second, third quarter. Got a little more normal, but he did enough to get the win.
You're right, because Derrick Henry, he could never get started.
Yeah.
They were shutting him down the whole time.
This one I also chose the Titans. I chose wrong too. That Minshew mania is starting to build up there. They making a thing out of it.
You see all the memes of people with the mustaches on.
Yeah. But I think just like Brian said, Jacksonville defense came to play. It was a little sloppy game in the beginning, but they shut down the running game, and Minshew threw 2 touchdowns. I was shocked to see how well he played. He actually played really composed.
Yeah.
It was like he wasn't rattled or anything, and he came up with some key third down drive to keep the drive going. But like I said, I didn't think that Jacksonville had it in them to beat them.
His clothing attire is a little questionable though. He got a meme, a picture of him wearing some jorts, a little gay.
He ain't getting paid big money. But, he played like he didn't have anything to lose.
Yeah, exactly.
He does.
And he does.
Yeah, he does.
right.
Yeah, he's
So,
out there just slinging and having a good time.
I think he was undrafted, right? Or was he drafted?
That I don't know.
I think he is a free agent.
Don't ask questions we don't know, Marcus. It makes us look unsmart.
Or at least look it up. Jeez.
Look that up there.
Well, if he was drafted, he was drafted very, very low down, very low. So
So yeah, you're right. And you know what? Wasn't he Mr. Irrelevant?
No.
Was he the one who was Mr. Irrelevant?
no,
You sure?
I think Mr. Relevant was someplace else. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it wasn't him.
I knew he was talking about a quarterback that was Mr. Irrelevant. Okay, but let's move on to the let's go to the 1:00 Sunday game, which was the Chiefs at home against the Ravens. Who'd you pick on this one, Marcus?
Well, of course, I picked the Chiefs. I knew it was going to be a good game. Lamar Jackson finally came back down to earth a little bit, but they still That was a hell of a game, man. They were very close to winning. I definitely think that'll be that might be a repeat in the playoffs. It was a very good game. I mean, but you can't take anything away from Mahomes, and I mean, and even though Tyreek Hill's out, those other receivers are picking up the slack, and they're just doing what the Chiefs do.
How about you, Mark? Who'd you have?
I took the Chiefs in this one. Like you said, this is a very exciting game. It kind of started off with a little twist and a little drama when Harbaugh went for it on fourth down and 4th and 2 early in the game. I think that was on their first drive, and they ended up getting it. Later on in that same drive, they Ravens had a third down play that they threw incomplete, but there was a flag on it, kept the drive going, so it kept them consistent. They kicked the extra point, which was 7 points, but then there was a flag on the extra point where the Ravens went and attempted again to try the 2 points and didn't get it. So it started off the break like that. Two things in this game that stood out. Ravens kind of got two bum calls in this game. One was the quarterback, the tackling from the back. I don't think he tackled him, grabbed him from the back of the horse collar.
Yeah.
I think
Okay.
he did. That was an important call because it kept Kansas City drive alive and it gave them a momentum to go and score. Then there was a second call in the game where the Ravens had a big yard run from the running back, Edwards, and he picked up a nice gain. They were going to Kansas City territory, and there was a holding call called on Snead, and it was a ghost call. I didn't see it. That killed their momentum. Kansas City got the ball, scored again, and that pretty much kind of did the Ravens in. But I tell you what, the Ravens showed a lot of heart, and they put a lot of pressure on Mahomes. It'll be interesting to see them two play again. It really would be. But I chose the Chiefs, and they were victorious. I'm good.
Brian, who'd you pick?
Yeah, like Mark is saying, it's definitely going to be a game down the road that we're going to look entertain to see, and it'll be interesting if it's not in Kansas City and possibly in Baltimore, if the situation might change. But I was extremely impressed with the Ravens offense. I mean, they were down a little bit. Kansas City had like a 2 touchdown lead for most of the game, but Baltimore just kept coming back and coming back. And like Marcus said, near the end, I think they were only down by what 4 or 5, something like that. Had a chance to try to win the game, and then of course Kansas City got the ball back, did what Kansas City does. But I was very impressed with this game. This was like one of the better games of the year so far.
Who'd you pick?
Oh, I picked the Chiefs. I did pick the Chiefs.
And Lamar had no passing touchdowns, but he did have a rushing touchdown. So that's the first time this season he had no passing touchdowns.
Yeah, I picked the Chiefs too. I picked them because it was a home game. I thought the weather was going to affect their offense some, but it didn't seem like it did.
And it was like raining the first thing in the beginning before the game started.
Yeah, it was pouring like cats and dogs.
Yeah.
For hours, I think, before the game. So I thought that was going to give Baltimore a little bit of an advantage, but it didn't. Like you said, they hung in there, but definitely going to be interesting throughout the season. To see how this plays out in the playoffs. If the Chiefs are going to have their home field against them if they, do wind up playing them, at least it's looking that way. So let's move to the Sunday afternoon game, which was the Chargers at home against the Texans. I picked the Chargers on this one and got it wrong. I did not expect the Texans to be able to go in there and beat the Chargers. The Texans' offensive line, they're still not really protecting their quarterback as well as they need to. Right. I think, did I hear he's on pace for like 80-something sacks this season or something like that? Yeah, so I just don't see how they're going to get anywhere or go anywhere if you're not protecting your quarterback. They're going to have to figure something out or they're going to lose him to injury. So, yeah, I picked the Chargers, got that wrong. Brian, who'd you have?
Yeah, I'm in that same boat with you, Herman. I also picked the Chargers. The Chargers look terrible. I don't know. And Watson, who I had riding my bench, actually played very well. I mean, he was everywhere. He was getting sacked, everything, but he makes plays. He gets out of trouble. He makes up a lot for as bad as that offensive line is. even with the addition of Laramie Tunsil. But I don't know what's going on with the Chargers. I mean, they just did not play Charger ball, that game. And they think the only wide receiver that he was throwing to was 81 most of the game. But give the Texans their due credit. They did a good job.
Marcus, who'd you have?
I picked the Texans. I'm all in on the Texans. Besides the sorry offensive line, they're a pretty good team. Deshaun, he had 351 yards, I think it was, and 3 touchdowns. Yeah, 350, 25 for 34, 351 yards and 3 touchdowns. Yeah, that was a mistake having him on your bench there, Brian.
Yeah.
Help me out though.
I wasn't winning that game regardless, but
But I picked the Texans.
And Mark, who'd you have?
This one I chose the Chargers. I chose wrong on it. Both the quarterbacks were slinging it. They both threw for over 300 yards of passing. I think the Chargers tried to make a late minute rally. Almost had a chance to put the game in overtime, but just ran out of time. A bum call, coaching decision in there too. But the Chargers, I think the Chargers are still much more talented than what they've shown so far. We guess we get back into it later. Gordon will be back there soon, so we see. But I chose the Chargers. I chose wrong.
All right, so let's move on to the Sunday nighter, and that is the Browns were at home against the Rams. I'll start this one off. I took the Rams. I'm not buying into the Browns hype, and I'm still not buying into it. I'm just not impressed. Like I was just watching a story a little bit earlier. Baker Mayfield had to respond to Rex Ryan's criticism about his play.
Lord, no.
Rex Ryan had something to say, and he said, we're only worried about the people that are in brown and whatever their colors are, ugly and ugly.
Yeah.
He said something along the lines of, Rex Ryan doesn't have a color, and there's a reason for that, or something. He's so sensitive. It just seems like he wants to dish it sometimes, or has so much to say, but he needs to focus on football and not worry about what all the other analysts are saying. So that kind of shows you right there that he's not focused on what he needs to be focused on. But the Rams, it's funny because after every game with the Rams, they have to do this. Todd Gurley is not on a pitch count. It's like, well, obviously something's going on with Todd Gurley. You're not using him like you did last year,
and your offense shows it.
And yeah, y'all definitely offense is definitely showing that lack of Gurley. So something's going on, and they better get it straight, because if they don't, it's not going to be pretty. Going down the season. So
yeah, he only had 14 carries for 43 yards. So
Yeah,
and like what, 2 catches for like 4 yards or something like that.
Yeah,
I think they only threw to him like twice.
Yeah, something's definitely wrong there.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but I will say Cooper Kupp.
Yeah,
that's a bad dude. I had him sitting on my bench. I think maybe not anymore. I'm gonna have to find a way to get him in there. Mark, who'd you have?
This one I chose the Rams. Also, I think Cleveland didn't run the ball enough in this game. I don't know why. They just didn't try to slow down the Rams with the run. They got a late interception in the end of the game that pretty much kind of sealed it for them. That took Cleveland out of the comeback situation for them. But I thought that the Browns are still talented, but I think they still young. They still got some growing up to do.
Like you said, I think it goes back to a little bit of the coaching, because I don't know why these coaches think that Baker Mayfield is this gunslinger, throw the ball all over the field.
And like, real quick, is this true that Kitchens didn't know it was 4th and like 6, and when he ran that little draw play run, he thought it was like 3rd down. It was 4th and 9, I think, like that. He thought it was 3rd and 9.
He thought it was 3rd down.
Yeah.
You still there?
I'm still here.
Oh, okay. You look like you were sitting so still. You look like you were frozen.
But if that's the case, that's you're the offense. You're running it. He is the offensive coordinator on that team, right?
And the head coach. So and this is this is that year. So this is where you start to look at that. OC, head coach. It's a lot more responsibility, and obviously he missed something because he thought it was 3rd down. Who'd you pick, Brian?
I'm with you guys. I did go with the Rams. I mean, the Rams were on the field, obviously the better team. The defense definitely showed that the Cleveland offense didn't have an answer for Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald was all over the field, consistently in the backfield, messing with May Baker. So, um, and like y'all said, I don't think they ran the ball like enough like they should. The play calling was just somewhat questionable. Odell wasn't truly a factor in this game, which is kind of odd. Actually, number 80, Landry had a little better game, I think, in this one. But Cleveland, I don't know if they reading their press clippings or if they just know that they're better than what they are, but they just don't seem to play like a team to me on offense. I don't know. It's just like
Like
one
a
on
bunch of
one.
individuals.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I don't know. I don't know, but
One other thing you were talking about the coach, I think is important too. For first year coaches, I think for them to try to be the GM and be the overseer and everything, I think that's really taking on too much.
Yep.
You really should have a GM or somebody in charge overseeing that who's been around the league a little while, and that will give you enough time to really grow and put other things together. So I kind of think that Kitchens may be a little bit over his head with some of the decision making and some of the things going on. That probably some of that inference could be
yeah, because
more so
normally
on the
isn't
team.
there somebody on the sideline that let hey coach,
Yeah.
hey goes third down, you know? So
Well, I mean, down and distance is the OC's job.
yeah,
Like, so
but I mean, isn't there somebody else
the-
too that just kind of
I
just
don't
reiterates
know.
that on the
Yeah,
in the,
probably
on the,
the head
Well,
coach.
and most coaches will designate somebody to be the lookout for that too.
yeah.
So
Marcus, who'd you pick?
Just like you guys, I picked the Rams. Excuse me. I was hoping for a lot. I picked the Browns to win the division. That doesn't like it's gonna happen anymore. They're not living up to the hype. You're right. They're reading their press clippings. Well, at least the preseason press clippings too much because right now they don't want to read those press clippings. The current press clippings. Like I said, the Rams were too much for the Browns. Even if they were living up to the hype, I didn't think they were going to beat the Rams. But I am really curious to see what's going on with Todd Gurley and what's this pitch count all about. And it's just very weird that 2 years ago and early last year, Todd Gurley was a major force in that offense, and now he barely registers on the scale.
It doesn't. It's weird, and I mean, then you just paid him all that money.
Yeah, exactly.
And this
wasn't at one point wasn't he the highest paid running back?
Yeah, before Zeke got his.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So, wow. Yeah.
And then just real quick, looking at the Browns' next couple opponents, I mean, they play the Niners Monday night. They got the Seahawks.
You say Monday night? That's a third primetime game in a row.
Yeah.
Good grief.
Monday
really
night,
bought into
Seahawks. Then they play the Patriots. Then they may have another good chance with the Browns. They got the Steelers, the Dolphins, which should be a victory, and then the Steelers again. So they play the Steelers at home, the Browns, the Dolphins, then come right back and play the Steelers.
yeah,
So,
when they start adjusting up these Monday night schedules, and then come to later on down the season.
and depending on because all the hype is why they got all
Yeah,
that.
the
They don't
schedule
play Monday
is the
nights,
real
though.
hype.
That's Sundays.
Yeah.
Okay.
They only
But-
flex Sunday nights. They don't
They
flex
definitely
Monday
need
nights.
to. They definitely need to get their act together because their schedule isn't getting any better. For them.
Actually, that might be. I mean, that might be a good game though. The 49ers 3-0 against the Browns.
Yeah,
That might be. A good game.
that should be a good game. Garoppolo.
All right, so let's move into the last game. The Monday nighter. The Bears were.
Yeah, we can skip that. We can skip that.
We can. Skins were at home against the Bears. I'll start this one off. I'm not even gonna dog the Skins out. There's no point at this point. I'm just gonna say this: like the coaching, we could coach that team better than what Jay Gruden's doing, because the one thing that I know that I would do as a coach is find out where Khalil Mack is and make sure that I scheme against him. Two people are gonna block him every play. I don't give a damn what else is going on. I mean, there was a play where he wasn't even
He's
blocked.
free.
I
He
can't.
came free right
I
at
can't
him.
even fathom it. I don't even care if you're running a screen to the other side of the field. Somebody better chip him or something. That dude is way too athletic and fast to not be blocked. I can't even. All I'm gonna say is to the Redskins fans, I'm checking on y'all every couple of days, make sure y'all okay, because I don't think you are. Brian.
So I was actually.
I'm sorry, wait, I picked the Bears too.
Oh yeah. So let's start it off that I did not pick the Bears on this one. I don't know what I was thinking. Permanent
Now we took the
amnesia.
skins,
Yeah, I've been really bad at my picks, so don't follow my picks. Do the opposite because for some reason, the way that the Redskins had played the Cowboys offensively, I thought they might have had a shot. I was not aware that John Gruden was going to do these 5 and 6 step drops against one of the best front lines in the NFL. I don't know what he was thinking. They were killing Keenum. I mean, I was at this game, so I watched it firsthand. Keenum had no time at all. I don't know why he wasn't trying to run the ball more. I don't know why he wasn't trying to get the short pass going, which he kind of did in the third and the fourth quarter, which was by then way too late. But Keenum had no time, and actually by like the second quarter, he was terrified. As soon as he got back, he was trying to get rid of that ball, and he happened to be throwing it to the Bears instead of the Redskins. So I don't know if Jay is trying to get out of there, or
That's what I
I
feel.
mean,
I feel like
he's
he's
like,
trying to
just
get
fire
fired.
me, get me out of here. I don't want to hear anymore, or what's going on. But the Bears fans were loud in that stadium. I mean, taking over. You could hear it. It was hard to tell if the Redskins made a good play or the Bears made a good play with so many of them in there, which is kind of sad too. But yeah, I picked this one wrong, and I will never pick the Redskins again.
You suck.
Mark,
Mark, who'd you pick?
the Bears. I'm not gonna throw a lot of salt on the skins wound. I like it like Brian said. I was just amazed on you got the best defensive player in the league right now, and you're not even chipping them coming off the line. I mean, I thought that was kind of ridiculous. Um,
And he
Keenum
was everywhere too, by the
did
way. I'm
not
Yeah,
sorry.
he
He was
was.
did
everywhere.
not look great at all. I just think the Bears just totally dominated.
He was just trying to survive.
But the saddest thing about it is everybody kept yelling to bring in Haskins. I said, what are you gonna do? He's just gonna get killed
Yeah,
too.
that's not the defense you want to bring in Haskins.
No, absolutely not.
So Marcus, who'd you pick?
You know, I made a pick from the heart. I picked the Redskins. I had no idea they would go out there and stink it up like they did. Even though I should have known. You know, our Monday night, well, our primetime record is terrible.
Oh my God, it's abysmal.
Yes, I didn't know it was that bad.
It's abysmal.
Yeah, it's very bad. You know, like Brian was saying, how do you not block Khalil Mack? You know, the whole game, Case Keenum is basically under pressure. You know, 3 picks, 1 pick six, one of those pick six,
Yeah.
and then 2 fumbles. You know, it's just a disaster, and the defense. You know, I find it hard to believe that Josh Norman can fall off that big a cliff.
He did get a pick in the game.
Yeah, I mean, still.
It was
It was an underthrown ball, but he still was there to
I
make
mean,
the play.
okay, you get 1 pick. You've been burned every game. You know, a couple times every game leading up to that. So you know, just you know, as a Redskins fan, I'm just frustrated. I just think we should just fire everybody. Just fire everybody. Get rid of
You gotta
everybody.
get rid of that GM.
And just real quick before we get off this topic, why is your quarterback jumping over the line to get a first down when you're in the middle of the goddamn field?
I don't know. Why not just do a quarterback sneak? Like
Thank
everybody
you.
else?
Right.
But I mean, what do you think, that ball ain't live anymore? I
think
mean,
that-
what are you doing? You do that on the goal line because once it crosses the plane, the play is over.
Maybe he just didn't want to be on offense.
It might not be. I mean, that
Maybe-
was the play where it sent the fans to their cars and like, let's get the hell out of here.
Maybe he was like Freddie Kitchens, and he thought he was at the goal line and not the first down line.
Yeah, maybe.
But that rookie wide receiver, I mean, he is a bright spot in your offense.
He's the only bright spot on the offense.
Yeah.
He's tight. He's tight.
You know, Adrian Peterson didn't do nothing in that. I mean, it's
But
just
Gruden doesn't give him a chance.
Yeah, you gotta get him.
Everybody
he's gotta
knows
get going.
Adrian needs touches. He needs touches to be successful.
and they keep trying to make him run these stretch plays. Adrian Peterson's go up the middle, 1 cut up the middle, 1
Exactly.
cut. Stop with
Let me
this.
beat up this defense for 3 quarters, and in the 4th quarter, you will get your dividend.
Stop with the horizontal run plays. That's not him. That's what Chris Thompson's for.
Yeah.
All right, so that wraps up. I think our week of picks. I went 3-2 this week. Brian,
2 and 3.
Mark
3-2 also.
Not good. Not good.
and Marcus.
3-2.
All right. So,
Isn't that what the ball coach said, Marcus? Not good.
all right. So let's move on to some topics for the week. Um, we're going to talk about. I guess we're going to talk about coaches in the hot seat. We know who the hottest seat is right now.
There's
you know
really
what I
only
mean?
one, right? There's really only one.
Who would that be, Marcus?
That would be Gruden. That would be Jay
Would
Gruden.
it? You really think that the Redskins would fire Jay?
Marcus, you're not alone. There's a couple of other coaches in the hot seat.
Well,
Who?
let's name them. Who? Because who?
I think that Ron Rivera. I don't know if his job is in question.
I don't think his is. I don't know why.
Although it was a bright spot last week, they did that little. He did play well. He did play well.
You think Tomlin in trouble?
I don't think
I don't
Tomlin.
think-
If it was any other team but Pittsburgh, I would probably say yes. But Pittsburgh's not known for firing coaches.
I mean,
Pittsburgh's known for
can you
letting them
fire
get
the
there.
coach the year the starting quarterback is out for the season?
You could,
Is that-
but
is that fair?
It's
I
not,
mean, you
it's
could,
not
but they-
fair. But they don't do things fair.
But I think-
But he was there all last season too.
But I think they got him early in preseason extension, so that they committed to him. They're still committed to
And
him.
as an owner for the Steelers, you got to look at it like this. You did just lose Antonio Brown. You just lost Le'Veon Bell. Huge talents. And then you lose your starting quarterback for the year. Come on. It's just like, you know what?
Yeah,
that's a
but
wash.
Pittsburgh has been known for getting drafted and getting quality wide receivers and linebackers
Sometimes
throughout their
you just
history.
can't replace those
Yeah.
right away.
Now,
I mean,
Le'Veon,
that's a
he
lot
was
to
like
lose.
a franchise type player, but
I mean,
I
okay,
want to be back in Pittsburgh now. But
That's a great question.
I mean, y'all are Cowboy fans. Suppose in the early '90s they'd have lost Aikman, Irvin, and Emmitt Smith
it was
all
over.
in one season.
Yeah,
It was
that's
over.
the season.
So hold on, you can't take. I mean, they still got Big. They had Big Ben last year.
That's their triple.
They had him last year. They had all those guys last year except for
Le'Veon.
Le'Veon. So
But wasn't no championship, so
no.
it really don't matter.
Yeah.
I don't think Tomlin's on the hot seat.
Yeah, I don't think so
Well,
either.
Let's
But Gruden,
What about the Vikings
well
head coach?
let's do this. Let's go through the 0-3 teams,
Okay.
and we can talk about each one's coach. We already talked about the Skins. So did you say the Vikings?
Mhm.
They're like 2.
No, they're like not because they're 0-3,
No.
but just because expectations, and he's been there for a while now.
I think they love Zimmer. So let's start with Miami. What's that? I forget his
this is
name.
the first year coach.
Yeah,
first-year coach.
he'll get a
Florence,
pass.
yeah,
He'll
he'll
make
get
it
a
through.
pass. How about
But it's looking
Plus
ugly.
they're building for next
I will
year.
say this:
Well,
if
they're
they
building
keep
for
getting
the
their
future.
butts whooped by 30 and 40 points a game,
he's still not gonna get fired.
I
Still
don't
get
know.
fired.
I don't know.
They're
They
building
say-
for next. They're taking for next
But
year.
they're
Yeah.
building for the future.
I guess, but still,
But you
you
know
got to be
what?
somewhat competitive.
That coach that they took from the Patriots, apparently he was very highly regarded because I was talking to some Patriots fans, and they were really upset that they lost him to Miami. So he must have actually been a really a good coach because they went on and on about that a little bit. But let's move on to the Jets. Adam Gase has to be in the hot seat, I would think. They spent a lot of money in the offseason to be putting some trash on the field like this.
But who knew that your quarterback's going to get a kissing disease and be out? Although he is talking about coming back.
He's
I think
talking
for
about
the
Week
the
5.
Eagles game, yeah, like week 5. So they still have a chance to possibly save their season. They also have a
But not in
disgruntled
that division.
defensive lineman. They were talking about. He had kind of tweeted a couple things, not necessarily that he wants to leave, but it was a little bit of questions about him. I can't remember his name right now. Probably shouldn't have brought it up.
I think it's going to be hard for them to salvage their season though in that division. I mean,
It's gonna,
obviously
yeah.
only
You're
one
right about
person's
that.
coming
You're
out of
right about
division,
that.
and that's the Patriots.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing that I can see against them. But I don't know because when I watch that game, and I get like you said, your starting quarterback is out, but this isn't a starter that's been here for a veteran starting quarterback. He's what is Donaldson in his 3rd year
Is he?
or second year?
Second
year.
year. And that game with him out, man, that was some of the worst football I've seen, in my opinion. It looked
Yeah.
like there was no game planning at all. They were just kind of experimenting with the play, and then they just started trying to get the ball to Le'Veon Bell. It was like, come on, coach, come up with a game plan. Adam Gase is supposed to be this offensive, guru, and I saw nothing. And like I said, if I spent that much money in cap in the offseason and and this is the trash that you're putting on the field, I'm gonna start looking at that coach because Gase didn't do nothing in Miami. I don't even know why they hired him anyway to make him go to the Jets.
This is Gase's what?
He was
First
he
year
was
second.
his first year with the Jets,
First year
but
with
he
the
was like
Jets.
some type of offensive guru with the
Yeah.
Broncos, wasn't he?
I think he's another one
Isn't
of
that where he
those.
cut his teeth pretty much?
Yeah, I think he might be another one of those. I'm an offensive coordinator. I'm not a head coach.
Like the guy from the Patriots,
Josh
Josh
McDaniels.
Josh McDaniels.
Yeah. So,
What do you think about Denver? This
I'm sorry.
Big Fangio's first year.
The bad thing about him is he's a defensive guy. They have no sacks on the season. None.
What? None?
You have Von Miller on your squad. You have no sacks for the season.
That's
And
crazy.
Chubb.
Yeah.
Yep.
But
So-
you know what though? I mean, Aaron Donald just got his first sack in the Sunday night.
Yeah,
game.
but you normally somebody else. If you're getting doubled, you're opening up for somebody else to get a sack. For the whole squad not to have one.
I mean, it's definitely.
And you're the
hard,
defensive man.
Yeah. And then again in their division too, you already got the Chiefs and I think the Chargers are going to be up there.
Yeah.
I don't see I don't know how the Broncos are going to salvage that 0-3 start. We can talk about the Bengals and the Steelers. Somebody is going to get a win this week.
Yeah.
What will
Well,
happen?
we talk about that in the picks, but
It could be a tie.
But they're 0-3s also.
yeah, they're both 0-3 too.
First year coach
But the first year coach, I mean,
Zach Taylor.
when we'll talk about it a little bit more, but there's a couple surprising facts I found on the Bengals.
We can talk about that now because we're talking about the 0-3
Oh, we're going to start.
teams.
So are we going to the picks? Because it's
No.
kind of in my picks. So
Huh?
it's kind of in my picks.
We'll just go ahead and say it now.
Right. We're
right,
talking
we're talking about the
0-3
Bengals.
teams.
All right. Well, Dalton is number 2 in passing right now in the league.
Really?
Yep.
Behind.
Mahomes.
And what's that, yards or
Overall passing. Overall.
overall?
Yep.
So,
And he's going up against this Pittsburgh Steelers defense that's 29th in defense
Yeah, it's terrible.
and 31st in pass defense.
so do you think that they can turn their season around?
I do. They played the Seahawks tough.
They did.
They played the Seahawks really tough. The Seahawks got lucky to get out of there with a win. And I don't know this new guy. I don't even know the name of the head coach's name, but he has that offense humming, and they still haven't gotten back there. Yeah,
Zach Taylor.
yeah,
AJ
that's
Green
exactly.
still.
Yeah, and they still haven't gotten back AJ Green.
Yeah,
So, I, in this particular game, I'm picking the Bengals.
that's it.
Well, you told me so.
I didn't say
Now
that.
done said. That's why I said I won't wait. Y'all kept pushing.
Why is AJ Green out?
He had hurt his.
He got an ankle injury, injury in preseason that's been nagging him.
Okay.
So I think we all agree that the Skins can't turn their season around. Jay
No.
Gruden's just trying
No.
to get out of there.
Yeah, the Skins are now going to be last place, and the Giants will take the next step up.
What? I don't know about all that. I think
Absolutely.
You can kick rocks. with fifth.
I'm just letting you know.
I think out of
the
all
facts.
the 0-3 teams, I think
Might
the
be
two teams would probably be fighting for that number 2 spot.
Yeah, Marcus, y'all be the
It's
number
Pittsburgh
1.
and Cincinnati. I think Pittsburgh and Cincinnati.
So you're conceding the division to the Ravens?
Right now.
Yeah, unless something
I mean,
major
how can you
happens.
not see the Ravens?
Yeah.
Something severe would have to
It's
happen.
still
like-
early, but they
You can't count the Steelers out because they're the Steelers. I mean, they hang around.
But what happened to Connor?
Yeah, well, he's still a little banged up, right?
well, he's hurt. He's hurt too.
So
Yeah, because I mean, he was like, that's all you heard about was, the Steelers don't need Le'Veon. They got Connor all last year, and this year you ain't really heard a peep out of him. Has he even scored?
Yes, he has scored a touchdown.
Okay.
all right. So and then the last team, they're not 0-3, they're 0-2-1. Is the Cardinals? The Cardinals have been in. I think they've been in every game.
Yeah,
they've been in games.
Yeah, slow start in like the first game, but the next couple games they've been getting in there. You know who's had like a revelation is Larry Fitzgerald.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the time you turn around, he's open and catching the ball, and I mean,
It's probably coming back next year.
yeah.
Because this
Yeah.
team, when you look at it as young, with this young quarterback, and for them to be in these games so close, you can kind of see that. I wouldn't be surprised to see them make a leap next year. if they add maybe a little bit more, maybe some experience in another spot, maybe get another threat at wide receiver to go with Fitzgerald if Fitzgerald does come back.
But they probably need a better defense. They probably need to build on defense. I think
Well,
the
hold
offense.
up.
I
Is
think the offense
Patrick
is
Peterson
there.
still out?
Yeah, he's suspended.
When is his suspension up?
Oh, they playing without Patrick Peterson?
Yeah. He had a
Yeah.
PED suspension.
PED.
Oh, yeah.
So they lost him for the first 4 games of the season. So he should be coming back in a couple more weeks. But yeah, I agree with you. I think Cincinnati is a young team that played hard in each one of the games and was close in both of them. So I think they're much more talented than what they've been doing so far.
And he's been doing a lot better too, finding his passing lanes than he did that very first game. Oh, he got 6 games.
Did he?
Houston got 6
games?
6.
Wow. That's a repeat offense then, right?
That must have been some good PEDs right there.
I'm surprised that wasn't appealed.
He probably did, but they don't drop nothing, in the NFL.
I mean, before they used to, what's 6? Oh, you get 3.
Sometimes, but I don't know, man. It's like, what's his name was trying to have a baby.
Yeah.
Oh,
Patrick
Peterson actually had 8 game suspension. Thank you, Darian. So
okay.
Yeah. So all right. Let's move on to another cornerback in the league.
Our favorite.
Who's been making all the news this week, and we're going to go with Jalen Ramsey. So, in case everyone's not aware, but I'm pretty sure you are, Monday Jalen Ramsey had the flu that he mysteriously got, I guess, after the game on Sunday. Or no, they played Thursday night.
They played Thursday night. And he actually played well in that game.
And he got the flu. So Tuesday was the player's day off. Wednesday he came in and his back was hurting, probably from sneezing and coughing from the flu. So he hurt his back, and his wife is having a baby. So I guess him and the team decided that it's better for him to just go, be a dad.
So he took maternity leave.
Yeah, he took maternity leave.
Yeah, basically.
Almost.
Yeah.
And the thing is it's indefinite maternity leave because they don't know when he's coming back. So what y'all think of this situation?
I mean, obviously he wants out, and he's trying to pull a low class, a not so high stakes Antonio Brown, maybe tone it down a little bit,
right?
A move to get out of there. At this point, maybe they should just trade him and see what they can get for him.
I think the problem is that they want too much for it. They're talking like 2 number 1s.
Yeah,
and most teams aren't going to try to do that for. They're going to try to get. Although he is a quality player,
he's talented.
This is what his 3rd or 4th year. 4th year.
This is his 3rd.
Third year.
Contract.
Yeah, he's 20. I think he's 24, 25.
He's talented, but there's not teams out there that's willing to give that up.
Nah, you can't give that up. Plus, you have to pay this dude. Right. You have to break the bank on him. So.
Right. But there was like a report right after the Thursday night game that the Khan, who's the owner of the Jaguars, was really in love with him and wanted to sign him as soon as possible. But
said he wasn't interested in trade.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is if they franchise tag him, they still got 2 franchise tags they can still put on them and keep them locked down and keep them within.
Well, how they still got they're not even there yet because this is his 3rd year.
Yes.
They still got the 4th year of his contract and the 5th year option. And then you start getting into the franchise tags.
Yep.
So technically they got him for 4 more years. It's gonna get he's not gonna play without a contract next year. He's not gonna play for them if they don't if they want to keep him, they're gonna have to extend him. He's gonna do what Elliott did. He's gonna sit out and he's not gonna play. There's no way.
So the head coach, he had put a statement out about Jalen Ramsey. And what he said was, months ago in the offseason, Jalen notified me that he was expecting the birth of his 2nd child in late September. We spoke about this recently and again today after practice and decided that it would be best for Jalen to fly to Nashville tonight after meetings to be with his family during the birth of their daughter. He will return to the team when he's ready, and we will provide an update at that time. Now, what player gets to return to the team when he's ready? I mean, all teams are very understanding about guys having children, wanting to be there. But the normal thing is you go, she has the baby, and you're back as soon as possible to practice and play and, do what you got to do to be an NFL player. But it says that he'll when he's ready. That part kind of
That's
denotes
kind of
that this is like going to
like
turn
if you
bad.
want to be a part, you're either what did Mayock say? You're either all in or you're
Yeah,
all out.
yeah,
That's basically what that statement kind of said. I mean, he's turning it into a circus, and I understand the team sending him away. Like I like when the story broke on Monday, I was like, I didn't know NFL players could call in sick.
yeah.
Like
I
they
did not.
had to go see their
I
trainer.
thought you had to go, yeah, in half a second.
So that was a new one for me. I had never heard of that one before. So, then he comes back, with the back injury, and it was crazy because that story about the baby just broke maybe an hour before we went on
Yeah,
before we
yeah,
started the show. So
yeah.
sending him away.
This tweet is only a hour old.
Yeah, sending him away was probably the best thing that they could do. Get the distraction gone, and then even for Jalen Ramsey, the thing that gets me is, and I get the players want to get paid, and I'm not going to go into the whole honor your contract thing. I'm going to talk about being professional. You're supposed to be a professional athlete. Stop doing stupid stuff. Stop throwing tantrums in the media. Stop tweeting crap. Stop pulling up to the stadium in a freaking armored car. It's
I actually
childish.
thought that was
It was
kind
funny,
of
but it was it's childish. Like put yourself in the owner's position. You want me to pay you millions of dollars, but you want to do stupid, childish things like this. Come on, man. Be professional.
Yeah. Don't be Antonio. Don't do an
I mean,
Antonio.
I'm
That's the
never
new
gonna say
thing.
he's doing
You
that,
got
but yeah, you're right.
Antonio'd.
Yeah, it's just like, I can't walk into my job, with dollar signs and expect my boss to be like, "Yo, I want a raise." Roll up in the Brinks truck. You know what I'm saying? I can call out sick though. I can do
Yeah,
that.
we can't call out
They're
sick.
gonna raise you right out of
But
there.
yeah, it's like be professional. That's the only thing I'm saying. Like you're talking millions of dollars. You want this person who owns a company. NFL team is a company that's worth millions and some are billions of dollars, and you want part of that millions. Be professional with it. You're gonna tell me you can't walk into the owner's suite or owner's office and say, I want to talk to you. I really want to get paid. I want to be able to take care of my family. Whether it works or not is one thing, but be professional because I'm more than likely going to pay you as a professional acting that way than I am if you roll up to my stadium in a Brinks truck.
The only thing is a little difference is football is ultimately is what?
Team game.
It's a business.
Entertainment.
Yeah.
It's an entertainment business. It keeps the names in the audience. I mean, as crazy and as tired we were talking about Antonio Brown, it kept the Raiders in the forefront of our eyes for the whole time. People watched Hard Knocks that probably wouldn't have not watched Hard Knocks just because of Antonio Brown's antics. And ultimately, even though he's still crazy, he did kind of get what he wanted. So it is a little different than you or me or somebody else because we're not really in the entertainment business.
No, but on the flip side, you have for every one idiot player that you have out here doing this stupid stuff, you have 10 in the NFL who aren't and who are making big money.
Yeah, yeah.
You got
The
Julio
the
Jones.
biggest the biggest ones are the quarterbacks.
Well,
You
yeah,
rarely hear anything from the quarterbacks that are acting crazy
well,
about it.
they have to.
Yeah,
Also, they're in that position where they have to be that face of the franchise, and they can't act a fool. You know what I mean? Because they're not going to get paid. So, but I mean,
It's
you
more
got
at stake.
yeah,
At stake with
you
them.
got linemen, you have other receivers who don't do this stuff. You have running backs that you barely hear speak to the media. That are making their millions and they're contributing to what the team. To me, it's about it. It's ego. A lot of it's ego. And I know you got to have an ego to play in the NFL, I'm sure, because you are one of the top, most talented people in the world to play in the NFL. But somewhere along the line, somebody taught you a little wrong, I think, in my opinion. and nobody.
well, I mean, it was. I
Nobody
mean, a lot of
mentors.
them because the majority of these players have been. Once someone found out that they were talented, they've been coddled from high
You're
school
right,
on
and
up.
that's what
So
I
they're
mean.
used
Yeah.
to getting their way, all the time. So when somebody tells you no, what?
But
You can't tell me no.
some,
Yeah, you know who I am.
some are some. That's the thing is like somebody needs to straighten them out, and I think it comes down to maybe family is probably the only ones, but then even some of their families just
Oh yeah,
Well, they're probably just the family, just probably enablers.
yeah.
yeah.
I would hope that their moms aren't though, but It's just it's a weird situation when you have excuse me, some that just do what they need to do, and then the others that act the fool. And it's not a lot of them that act the fool. So yeah, but yeah, I think that's all the topics that we were going to talk
Just
about.
need to just touch real quick on Jalen Rams. I mean, on Melvin Gordon.
Oh yeah, that's right. I
Melvin
forgot the
Gordon
Melvin
decided to
Gordon.
end his holdout, and he's supposed to report to the team this week. Now he probably
Tomorrow.
won't. Yeah,
He's
tomorrow.
not. He's
He's
not
not
going
going
to
to
play.
probably play and everything because he has to get his physical and get himself back in football shape and stuff. But what do you think that does to the dynamic of that running game? Because they've been running the ball pretty good with Eckler. Is that how you pronounce it, Marcus?
Don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah, Eckler.
Eckler or something like that.
But you know what? Just to piggyback off of that too, like Jalen Rand, I mean, with Melvin Gordon, he told the Chargers, I'm not gonna report. I'm holding out. And you ain't heard nothing from Melvin Gordon since
He
then.
was kind of in
He
the
ain't
news.
tweeted nothing.
Not since
He
not since the season started, but like in the preseason, he was kind of
may have been a little.
yeah.
He made a little.
I mean, it wasn't
nothing,
a ton. It
yeah,
wasn't,
but he got
but he
quiet.
was adamant about not coming in
Yeah,
and playing.
and that's all it was though. He was adamant about it, or trade me.
Yeah.
I think that was pretty much all you heard from him.
Yeah,
He could have acted a fool. Even Zeke. You didn't hear anything from Zeke. It was the Cowboys doing all the talking during his holdout.
Mm-hmm.
So there are players who can get their money. They have a little bit of leverage. You can get your money, and do it in a professional way. Even though he's not there when he's supposed to be. When you take that silent approach, I think it's professional to do it that way and not give the media stuff like that. So, but I mean, I think that this just helps the Chargers.
yeah.
This does nothing but help them.
It does definitely help.
You know what I mean?
They just and I guess because they're doing so well, they got time to try to work Melvin in slowly instead of like trying to force him right in. You know, give him a full load.
So, yeah, I think that. And what are the Chargers right now? Are they 2-1?
2-1.
They're 2-1, but so they're not. He's coming back in time where he'll miss this game, but they're playing. I think who they're playing this week. Let me look that up real quick. The Chargers are playing, but it's
Marcus could have been looking at
right.
it
Well, you didn't tell me.
They're playing the
You're
Dolphins.
supposed to be listening to
they're
the
playing
show.
Miami, so they don't even need Melvin Gordon for this game. That's a winnable game.
And actually, they're 1-2.
They're
1-2. Okay, 1-2.
So they should be back to 500 this week. Next week, Melvin.
So what are the Chiefs are 3-0? Because the Broncos are 0-3.
New England's 3-0. The Buffalo Bills are 3-0.
The West.
Yeah, I'm talking about
The
West.
Chiefs are 3-0. The Raiders and the Chargers are 1-2.
Okay.
And
the Broncos are 0-3.
All right.
So the Chargers better get on board because they're going to let the Chiefs run away with this division, and you don't want to play them in Arrowhead in the playoffs.
Sure don't.
You're assuming that the Chargers are going to make the playoffs.
But, yeah, I am.
Roll into the picks now. We're going to start with our Thursday night game. We got the Packers at home against the Eagles.
Do you guys like the little Thursday night promos they be doing where the two fans are like joning on each other and stuff?
Yeah, that's kind of fun.
I do like that.
I like them too.
I like the Sunday night is for laundry. It's laundry night.
Yeah,
that is the funniest commercial ever, for real.
You know what I missed? It was long ago, but they stopped doing it too soon. If I was hearing, it was that things you won't say, things NFL fans aren't saying at the beginning of the season or something like that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that was good.
That was
a long time ago.
Yeah,
but that was
I think
good.
one of the first ones was about Roethlisberger, so that was a long time ago.
Wow.
But I missed those. Those were good. They should bring those back.
I'll start this one off. Even though the Eagles are getting back, the Eagles are supposed to get back Alshon Jeffrey for the game Thursday night, but I'm going to go with the Packers. The Packers are at home. Their defense has been very impressive, and Aaron Rodgers, he's not putting up these huge numbers yet, but he's slowly working himself into this system, and he's not turning the ball over. Like I say, he's not the Aaron Rodgers that we're used to seeing, but he's starting to play. I think he's getting better every week. So I'm gonna go with the Packers on this one. Who you got, Mark?
This one, Eagles still have a lot of injuries that they're trying to overcome. I think is Ertz playing this game too? The tight end?
Yeah, he's playing.
Okay. But they have a lot of they got a lot of injuries. I think Aaron Rodgers is starting to hit his stride. I'm taking the Packers in this one. They're playing in Green Bay, so yeah, I'm taking the Packers in this one too, Herman.
Marcus, who you got?
This game is a Green Bay. Like you said, the Packers defense, they seem to have a real defense this year. And the Eagles just really they aren't looking all that great. I picked them to win the division, but they're just not looking that great. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the Packers.
And Brian.
Oh!
Really?
I'm going with the Eagles. The Eagles, the last two games, the Eagles did lose, but there were two drops in both of those games that were touchdowns that would have beaten both the other opponents. The Eagles are averaging about 25.3 points per game, but they're giving up 26. They put no pressure on the opposing quarterback. The Packers, again, they're getting they're only averaging like 19.3 points a game, but the defense is actually holding them together, only giving up 11.7. The Packers are a 4.5 point favorite in this game because it's at home, but the Eagles have just too much talent to be this bad. They should have beat the Atlanta. They should have beat the Lions. This time they will beat the Packers.
Oh, shit.
The Packers offense is ranked 28th right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're not putting up a
They're
lot,
not.
but they're 3-0.
That's crazy when you got.
And it's like only one of Aaron
Rodgers
Rodgers throws to is
Adams.
Adams.
Yep. That's okay. So
isn't Graham still the tight end there?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know what he did? He
Is he
caught
playing?
one touchdown.
Yeah, he's playing.
In like the first game.
He caught a touchdown in the first game.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move on to the Sunday games, and we'll start with this one should be easy. Well, maybe I don't know. Let's start with Patriots.
Ducker.
Bills. Bills are at home against the Patriots. Brian, who you got?
With this one, I'm going with the Patriots. No question, no hand. The Bills have been playing some good ball, no doubt at all, but they struggled a little bit against the Giants. Their defense is really what's hanging their hat on. They're number 5 in total defense, but they're actually number 5 in total run offense, which was a surprising statistic. But the Patriots are giving up 7.5, and they're going to Buffalo. They got the number 1 ranked defense, which I don't know if any of y'all knew that, but the Patriots have the number 1 ranked defense in the NFL right now, the number 5 offense, and Devin McCourty leads the league with 5 interceptions. The Patriots just got too much firepower, and I just can't see the Bills keeping up with them scoring wise. So give me the Pats.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one, Brian. I'm going to take the Patriots also. I mean, come on. We all know the Patriots own the AFC East. They just do. I don't care what the Bills are right now. 3-0, whatever. They'll be 3-1. Patriots will win this one. Marcus?
Well, this could be a trap game. The Buffalo Bills are 3-0 as well.
Stop saying trap games when it's a divisional game.
Right.
It's still gonna be a trap game.
It's not a trap.
It could be a trap game.
They play each other twice a year.
It could be a
It's
trap.
not a trap.
It could be a trap game.
Okay, off air. We're going to have a conversation on what a trap game really is. Go ahead.
But as I've said before, I'm not picking against Tom Brady. I'm going with the Patriots.
Mark?
Tom Brady.
Wait.
Tom Brady is 7 touchdowns with no interceptions so far in the league in the season right now. He has not thrown that one pick.
Neither has the Kansas City Chiefs quarterback.
But we're talking about Buffalo in the right now.
Okay.
Bills Mafia. I think he's going to throw his first pick interception in this particular game. I'm taking the Bills against the Patriots on Sunday. I think they're giving their first L. They're giving their first loss.
Let's hear it.
Did you?
Ow!
Okay. Currently, right now, I'm going to read the Urban Dictionary definition of trap game. A trap game.
Let's move on.
No. A trap game is a game played against an opponent generally deemed to be easy to defeat. Okay.
So you can't say that against any divisional team.
I don't think it's going to be.
Okay. Did you not just say the Patriots own that division?
That the Patriots play in the AFC East is a trap game.
Right.
So they got 8 trap games this season.
6 trap games this season.
6 trap games this.
All right, let's move on to the Bears and Vikings game. Is that that's the Sunday game too. Right? The Vikings the Bears are at home against the Vikings. So, Marcus, we'll start you off since you want to talk about is this trap game?
No, I'm going to pick the Bears. Like you
The
know,
Bears.
even though the offense is ranked 29th, which is pretty miserable. The passing game is ranked 29th, but they do have the 8th ranked offense, and Kirk Cousins is known to throw some picks or to fumble. He'll fumble or throw a pick at a very crucial time, and the Bears defense just had a very good game against my Redskins. I think they'll keep that momentum going. So I'm picking the Bears.
Before we go any further, we did have a guest that Mike C. Did agree with Mark and stated that the Bills will upset.
There you go, baby. There you go, Mike.
All right, Brian, who you got for this game?
I'm going with the Vikings. Don't ask me why, because the Vikings are such a quandary. I mean, they run the ball so well, and Kirk Cousins passes the ball so bad. Um, they're number two in rushing, um, and the Bears are giving up 2.5 in this game. They got the number eighth ranked defense, number five against the run. So that's like two things colliding against each other. Just a quick note: the Bears are going to wear their old school 1936 uniforms in this game. The Bears did look really good against the Redskins, but they were playing the Redskins. I'm hoping
Right.
that the Vikings defense
Ouch.
will step up and not let them look like there's some man beaters out there. The Vikings need to do something. They got to get this season going. Give me the Vikings.
Yeah, actually, they're 2-1, just like the Bears. I mean,
Yeah, the
Yeah,
Vikings are 2-1.
yeah,
They haven't looked bad.
but they,
they look bad in that second game. I
But
feel
yeah,
yeah.
who you got, Mark?
This one too, I think the key to this game, I think, is going to be the Vikings being able to run the ball and slow down that pass rush from the Bears. This was a tough one for me to choose from. It's a shout out to my coworker Leanne. She's a Vikings fan. I'm taking the Vikings in this one. You better do me right, Leanne.
Yeah, I picked the Vikings to win the division. I think I did. And I want to pick the Vikings, but after watching the Bears defense against the Redskins, and then
why you gotta say who was against? Just say you're watching the Bears.
because it was against the Redskins, and then Kirk Cousins, being a former Redskin for one, and I like Kirk Cousins, but after what he did last week, and he's got to face the Bears defense. I hope that the Vikings run the football. I hope that their coaches are smarter than the Redskins coaches, and try to scheme against Khalil Mack, because
And actually want to run the ball. That's the
right,
one difference.
they
The Vikings
want to
do
run the
want to
ball,
run the
yeah.
ball. The Redskins don't.
But the Bears being at home and the way that their defense looks, it's hard to pick against the Bears with that defense. So, and you saw how bad they made the Redskins look. I mean, they
Yeah, I mean,
made the
demise.
Why we
Redskins
gotta keep
look.
stressing on that?
It was almost like a pop
Why we
Warner
gotta keep
team out
stressing?
there. I
I'm about to mute some mics up in this man.
So, I'm going with the Bears.
So we split on that one, right?
Yeah, we split on that one. All right, so let's move on to the Sunday night game,
Oh Lord.
which is the Cowboys visiting the Saints. And we'll let Marcus go first on this
Uh,
one. We know who he's picking.
I mean, even though Teddy Bridgewater won them the game last week, they didn't seem to miss Drew Brees at all. Where's this game at?
It's in New Orleans. It's in the dome.
And we have beat them there before.
Well, I just got to go back to last year. I picked the Saints to beat the Cowboys last year, and it seemed like after the Cowboys beat the Saints just were never the same team again for the rest of the season. Much as I hate to do it, I'll pick the Cowboys. They're going to be 4-0.
Just out of curiosity, how were they not the same team? They were in the championship game.
But their
look
offense,
beatable.
they look beatable.
They look beatable after we beat
After
them.
that Cowboys game, they look beatable every game.
They did.
Mark?
This one, I'm excited about this game. I think it's going to be a good game. Dallas seem to have something going on right now.
Something special.
It's called an easy schedule so far.
Something special.
I can't pick against them right now. Not right now. Even though I think they playing in New Orleans, but I think I'm gonna have to take the Cowboys in this one.
And,
Should he howl now or later?
He picked the Cowboys.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and everybody's trying to say the Cowboys 3-0 because they had easy schedule. Yeah, I mean, they did play one of the worst teams in the league, the Redskins.
They played 3 of the worst teams.
They played one of the worst teams in the league.
I'm muting Mike's.
Just out of curiosity, is 0-3 a good?
Why we talk about the Cowboys and the Saints?
Sorry.
We talk about the Cowboys and the Saints.
You brought it up. You said that the Cowboys haven't played anybody, and I'm just going over their schedule a little bit. And yeah, I mean, but we beat these really bad teams.
The way they were supposed to be.
The way
beat.
we're supposed to. I mean, we're putting up 30 burgers on them. We beat the Giants, 30 burger. Skins, 30 burger, and wasn't even close. And the Dolphins actually played a decent game, but
for 2 quarters.
Yeah, I worry about the Dallas's defense in this game. The Saints have such a dynamic offense, but with Drew Brees being out, I don't worry about Teddy Bridgewater as much as I would Drew Brees. I'm picking my Cowboys. I would have picked them anyway, even if Drew Brees was in. Like Mark was saying, it's something special going on with the Cowboys. The defense is going to have to improve, but what you're seeing on offense right now, I think this is just the tip of the iceberg. Kellen Moore, I hope it doesn't happen. He could be a head coach next year after he takes us to the Super Bowl.
I was – well, I don't know about that, but I was thinking that too, but that soon? You think he would get picked up that soon?
Man, these teams, let's say
they want the hottest.
I mean,
the hottest coordinators out there.
Isn't this his first year's offensive coordinator though?
Yeah, but I mean, it's no different than who was Freddie Kitchens. He wasn't. He was an offensive coordinator for half a year, and now he's a head coach.
I think he has to do at least 2 years in a row.
You know what? You would think
but
nowadays
they take them out sooner. Mark,
they are.
They're looking for the next
McVay.
That's what they're looking for.
You let Dallas go deep into the playoffs, and Dak keeps doing what he's doing, and this offense stays up in the top.
I have to agree. I have to agree with you on that.
Top 5. I wouldn't be surprised. He'll get interviews. He would get interviews.
Who knows? Redskins might be looking for him.
Could.
Anyway,
yeah. Because they're going to definitely need something. Brian, wrap it up.
All right, so the Cowboys are actually giving up 2.5 in this game, going to the Dome, more than likely because Drew Brees is out, and there's a question. The only thing that makes me nervous about this game is Alvin Kamara. Alvin Kamara is 4th in the league in all-purpose yards at 390. He can catch the ball out the backfield. He can run the ball. The defense for the Saints is terrible, though. They're 30th in passing. We're number 3 in offense total, 4 in passing, 3 in rushing. We have the 5th most played.
Who's we? You part of the Redskins, the Cowboys organization?
Marcus, as much gear as I pay for, I definitely own a part of that franchise. Okay, but they're 5th in most plays over 20 yards. They have a total of 16 so far this year. So they're getting the ball down the field. Dak is I can't find the stat right now, but Dak is like perfect in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah,
I mean, it's like a perfect record. He's like, I think 24 for 24. I mean, it's insane what he's doing after halftime. When so many years Cowboy fans complain about second half adjustments. Well, whatever adjustments we're making, we're doing it differently. Dak is also number 6 in passing right now in the league. Kamara is the question mark. Thomas is the question mark. And last week when the quarterback for the Saints, Brady, was playing. If you looked at that game, he didn't really go down the field that often. There was a lot of dink and dunks, little short, quick passes. He does have Sean Payton, which makes me a little nervous, but I just think that – and our defense needs to step up and play like they're supposed to play. But give me the Cowboys.
All right, so we're going to move on to the last game, and that's the Steelers at home against the Bengals. I'll start this one off. I'm going with the Steelers, even though the Bengals have been playing pretty good. I just can't see the Steelers going 0-4. And, being that it's a road game for the Bengals, I think the Steelers will find a way to, to run the ball, passing-wise, the quarterback. He'll do what he needs to do. And I think the Steelers, they'll get this divisional game. Brian?
Well, I already told y'all who I picked in this game.
Yeah, that's right.
But I just want to say, knock. Mark, you're supposed to say who's there.
I'm not saying it.
Marcus, who you
0-4. Bengals are going to win this game with the passing game of Dalton, the number 2 passing game of Dalton, against the 31st ranked defensive passing game.
Hey, Marcus, I got $100. Don't plug his mic.
Who you got, Marcus?
This was hard. You know, when they scheduled this game, obviously they didn't expect two 0-3 teams to be playing on Monday Night Football. You know, without Roethlisberger there, I just don't have a lot of faith in the Steelers. And you know, until Mason Rudolph starts showing me something, I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to go with the Bengals. You know, their offense is doing pretty good. They're doing Andy Dalton. You just say number one in passing, Brian.
Number two.
Yeah.
Number two. You know, like I said, without Big Ben there, I just don't have much faith in the Steelers. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick the Bengals.
The Steelers quarterback, he did actually do pretty decent last week.
Rudolph.
Mason Rudolph. The defense kind of was. I mean, every time I turned around, the defense was doing stuff in the first half, but then like the third and fourth quarter, I don't know what happened. You know, I didn't watch the game because you know it's the Steelers, but it looks like they fell off. So.
Yeah.
Did I lone wolf that one?
No, Mark.
Mark picked the Bengals.
Marcus picked the Bengals.
Marcus.
And Mark,
I picked the Bengals.
wrap
Okay.
it up, Mark.
This is both 2 0-3 teams. Somebody's got to win. This won't be a tie. Steelers last week had 5 turnovers in their game, and they couldn't really. They came up with 12 points. They had a tough time trying to get in the end zone. I don't think that's going to happen this time. You give us 5 turnovers. You give us 5 turnovers this time. We're going to be victorious. I'm taking Steelers all the way on this one. Monday night.
You lone wolf that one.
So just to catch up
I picked the Steelers too.
catch up on a couple things. Mike C did go with the Saints for the win over the Cowboys, which is a bad choice, and he's also picking the Bengals over the
Bad choice,
Steelers.
Mike. Bad choice.
And Darian also kicked in to let us know that Zach Taylor was the quarterback's coach last year, and now he's the Bengals head coach.
Okay. Wow, so he went from quarterback's coach to head coach.
The head coach.
Maybe Kellen Moore will get picked up next year.
Hopefully not. But all right, so I think we covered all the topics we planned to cover tonight. So that's going to be a wrap for the show. We appreciate y'all tuning in and checking us out. We will pay more attention to the chats to make sure that we get y'all's info in there too.
And feel free, everybody. Just say what you got to say. Nobody's what anybody has to say is we're not going to well, unless you're a Redskins fan. But for the most part, we'll let you say what you got to say and just put it on the air.
Or if you come up with that knock joke again, we're going
All right, Marcus, you want to take us home?
Brian, did I hit you up for the Twitter in the beginning of the show?
You sure did. Our Twitter handle is at Delay of Game 3. We're also on Facebook and YouTube, which is what you should be watching us on.
I think they know we're on YouTube. They're watching us on YouTube. I want to encourage everyone to like, share, and subscribe. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Help us get these views up. See you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Peace. We out.
Peace.